musical direction of this album was amazing.
Yeah.
It as you said. Let me start with the Monday because we go. I wake up Monday morning and I know Tyler is coming, but I also have to work.
Right.
Me and Ish are blessed to both work from home,
Yep.
so it's like we don't have that commute to turn on music, thankfully.
Yeah.
So I was like, when am I going to put this out? Luckily, when you work from home, you can kind of manage your time. If you manage your time well, I work before and after hours because I like to, sometimes I may do stuff during the day, so I make up that time later in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too. I do.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take this morning and I'm going to listen to the album. I'll catch up later after work today. Boy, oh boy. To listen to an album that is carefully curated this early in the morning, it gives you a new appreciation for that first listen. Because as I said a couple weeks ago, a first listen shouldn't be at midnight on a Friday when you got in from outside, you finna go outside, are you tired, been working all day? That shouldn't be your first listen. Having that first listen on a Monday morning, refreshed from the weekend, in a good mood, with a nice coffee and everything in the morning, it's like, wow. This is really nice. So the Monday drop
pleasant experience. Yeah, it's just like,
yes, the Monday drop is an amazing experience. But if you're not one of the 15 biggest artists in the world, don't drop on a Monday. I don't care. I don't want I don't want the Monday to become a flooded day.
Right.
And it's like Roddy Ricch is dropping December 4th or whatever he said. If Roddy Ricch wanted to drop on a Monday, I'm cool with that. But Lil X Nas, I didn't mean to say actual name. Lil X J out from Florida should not be dropping on a Monday. Like, you can stick to your Friday drops. But the major artists should absolutely adapt that Monday, Tuesday drop area because it is truly changes how I felt and how I listened to this album. And like we said, if you are him, if you are really about pushing the envelope, the people will follow. He's doing 200K.
he gonna sell anyway.
You're going doing 200K going number one regardless.
Yeah. Shout out to him, by the way.
So, quick little hitters. What was your most surprising feature? Because, like, he said no features, so we didn't think it was no features.
Oh, no, I ain't believe him. No,
And I didn't believe him. I was like, Tyler, you are too good at bringing niggas together
yeah.
to not have a feature on your
And
album.
Tyler the type of nigga who want a feature. Like,
Yeah.
Tyler the type of nigga who want to have a feature.
He'll
like,
make a song and be like, oh, I need.
Exactly.
Yes.
Listen, listen, we do this on the show. I'm happy our show is one of the few shows that do this, but definitely the Doechii feature. Like, the Doechii feature, I was super hyped to hear. Like, anything she's on, I love that combination. I love the combination of sounds. Everybody on Sticky. Everybody on Sticky.
I into my not a spoiler, but a look into how I listen to albums. I am like how niggas don't want TV shows and movies spoiled for them.
Yeah, don't spoil the
I'm
album
like
for
that
me.
with albums.
Don't
Don't tell
spoil
me
the
who's
album
on the
for me.
album.
Yeah.
Don't tell me nothing about the album.
Right.
I don't listen. I talked to y'all a lot about how I may give a single one listen, but I'm not going to sit and listen to a single over and over again. I want to save it for the album. I want to save it for the experience. Like Noid, which is a single he dropped for this, I listened to one time barely and didn't cut it back on.
It sounds
to
a
the
lot
album.
better in the flow
And it
album,
sounds
too.
amazing in the flow album.
Yeah.
But Doechii easily was my most surprising feature. I heard unfortunately Sticky got spoiled for me because I got on Twitter too fast. No, I got on TikTok. I was going to check our views for the TikTok actually. And I scrolled one. I don't even be on TikTok, bro.
Right.
I scrolled 2 TikToks and it was the he did the live stream before and it was like Lil Wayne on Sticky on the live. I said fuck.
And so it's crazy. It's crazy. That was the one nigga I was like, yeah. He's on every Tyler project. Like, I love that Wayne Tyler connection.
Yes. So I love the Wayne Tyler connection. So I was excited to see that. But luckily I didn't know where Sticky was in the album. I didn't really know what the song sounded like, nothing like that. I just saw the caption.
Type shit, yeah.
So I was still able to have some surprise factor with that. But when that Doechii feature came on at the end of the album, I said, you're lying, Tyler.
Yeah.
You're lying, Tyler.
That's a nice little shit.
And then the genius of Tyler to hear what makes her special in her music, which is the animation,
the energy,
the energy, and all of that, and to pull that out of her perfectly to fit your album, to fit the topics of your album. Because if you listen to her, if you listen to Alligator Bites Never Heal, go get that. She talks about the story she was talking about on that feature as well on that album.
Hell
just an amazing connection, perfect matchup with Doechii and Tyler. I love that, and shout out to the West, man. Shout out to the West.
Listen, that Schoolboy Q feature.
Yes.
Listen, I love. Well, I don't know. We'll get into our favorite songs. I don't know if I have like one song that'll stay my favorite, but right now, Thought I Was Dead is still my favorite song. When the snippet dropped, I thought he was tweaking. Hearing the full verse with Schoolboy Q, he was absolutely tweaking on that shit. Like, I love it. I wish there was another verse. It feels to me like there should be a verse after his verse. And I don't know, because Tyler has dropped the deluxe before, or you know how you get about, changing shit. But listen, that second verse on Thought I Was Dead is crazy.
He's special. But also, Tizo and Darling I thought was a perfect, it wasn't a real feature, but it was a perfect addition to the song.
Right.
Tyler is really good about not knowing that this person's sound fits this, but they don't need a full solo 30 seconds.
Right.
Like Sticky.
Yeah.
Those features are 7 seconds long.
Right.
But they make so much sense. They feel good on the song.
Yeah.
They match perfectly. They're mixed perfectly.
Yep.
So he does an amazing job of creating moments in music.
Facts.
It's not always about the whole song being a moment.
Right.
Some people are going to cut on Sticky to hear that sexy red 8/4 bars.
Yeah.
And that's their moment. That's the moment of the album for them.
Facts.
And he does a phenomenal job of creating those moments. But I will say, you said you don't have a favorite song. You said one thing I agree with, one thing I don't. I do have 3 favorite songs right now. Yeah. I do agree with you. They will be different next week when we come in here.
Okay, yeah. Like, it's somewhere like, man, I've heard Sticky Thought I Was Dead, and it's crazy. It's crazy. This is one of those albums that I listen to start to finish, so I don't even know the song titles down yet already.
I just looked at them today to do this. Like I did not have them until this morning. But
Ratata.
Ratata's crazy.
Oh my God, it's so good. Like,
my 3 would be Darling I, because that's my favorite pocket. That's that Wharf Talk pocket. That's my favorite pocket Tyler get in.
Right.
So Darling I, Sticky, and Hey Jane.
Oh yeah, Jane is crazy.
I don't know if I want to do Hey Jane or Judge Judy. One of them.
Judge Judy is solid.
Both
Judy is
both
beautiful.
of them right there are just different type of level of artistry. Just the storytelling on this album is really something else that drew me to it. Is like we get Tyler in a lot of different facets, but storytelling Tyler is one of the best Tylers. And my first favorite Tyler song was on the story he told on Wolf on Colossus. That was my first favorite Tyler song ever. So I knew that was always in his bag. But the way he had the message of him being selfish, not knowing if he want kids or not, having the not being able to be committed, not being comfortable with his sexuality, all of the measures and themes about this album, he did an excellent job of telling the story of why he felt that way about all of those different things.
I really loved it, and just to piggyback off your point, like one of my first favorite Tyler songs was Answer. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of, and that's why it's so amazing to see, because a couple, like, it's crazy, it's just how these things are interconnected, but like a couple Drake stands were in my mentions, like he gonna do 100K, and then he did 200 with no promo, and then the go-to is like, all right, let's pull up Tyler lyrics from 20 years ago, but like the irony of it is like niggas were listening back then too. Like people were listening back then too. We're not, like, people aren't surprised at what they found, but what I kind of felt the most, just because we hit like all the points of the album, was I think we are starting to see like kind of the first Kendrick influence on a younger artist, and I feel like we didn't expect it from Tyler, just because even though Tyler is West Coast, he's not like, like Rosecrans West Coast, like, but this felt like his Mr. Morale, but he's Tyler the Creator, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Where
that was a great point.
Where you can see the vulnerability just all throughout the album, but musically he's just a different artist than Kendrick. So you still get all the chord progression, you still get all the other stuff, but I really love seeing him just strip it all down. Like he said, it was so raw he had to wear a mask to even get it out sometimes. And that's what you hear in the music for things that people would never talk about, topics they would never discuss. Tyler has made it a point to put that at the forefront of this album. Listen, it was amazing.
I was thinking about that as well because full transparency, some more transparency into my life. I started rapping 2 years ago, strictly not because I wanted to be a rapper, but strictly because I started podcasting and I talked about rappers so much. I wanted to understand it more. Like I felt like I had a great understanding of it. I do my history. I go back and listen to albums all the time. I go make sure I do my research on historic artists. I told you every year it's an artist that I pull from. This year it's been UGK and Snoop are the two that I'm really focusing on. UGK is amazing, by the way. But I was thinking when I was listening to this album, was like, what is this tour going to be like? Because this is like hard, and Tyler performs his new songs. When Tyler comes and does a tour, he's performing most of his new album. Of course, he's going to touch his classic shit, but he performs most of his new album. So I was really wondering, how is he going to continue to perform this night in and night out? Because the topics are so heavy and so hard hitting. It is to be commended that he was able to get this off, and the mask behind it makes so much sense, especially when one of the songs on the album is called Take Off Your Mask. And he is kind of throughout this album pulling that mask off and letting you know this is who I am, bro. Good or bad, good or different or indifferent, this is who I am. And he did such a amazing job of relaying that message.
And we kind of tucked in Big 3 talk, whether by force or like, it just kind of doesn't make sense logistically for how rap is moving right now. But this album was a great stepping stone to show the other side of it. It's like, okay, I'm one of the biggest artists in the world. I don't have to show you less. Like, you can't relate to me driving the end zone and doing all this stuff, but you can relate to me driving the end zone being worried and paranoid all day about all this crazy stuff that's going on. Like, it's really, Tyler has been at the front of this generation as what we thought was going to be next. Like, especially on this show, because we are like a hip-hop, like you mentioned just like your personal history of hip-hop. We are kind of hip-hop, like, journalist documentaries in a way where like we look forward to hip hop and we look back and we try to categorize, play like, and just like keep track of everything for people, because it's not a lot of shows that do that. And Tyler looks like he's that next guy.
Agree.
Like if Drake, Kendrick, Cole all took a break for the next 3 years, it feels like we come back and Tyler would be number one.
I 100% agree. No question, no comment about it. I completely agree with that. I would like to piggyback off of that and say this for me to like sum up our Tyler talk. We got to get G6 on next week and Nelson. I want to hear their opinions on this as well. But to sum it up for this week, I would say this album perfectly. Let me take you back to last week and the week before when this was announced. I am always curious about what Tyler's albums are going to sound like, because Tyler has a sound, but it switches so much and so dramatically from album to album. You never know what a Tyler album is actually going to sound or feel like.
Right.
This album for me was the album I would like to categorize in this era of Tyler as the master of me. Yeah. And I'm saying that as Tyler, the creator. So master of me, master of Tyler. Because he has mastered each sound, flavor, instrumental that all of his albums have produced. And you hear them all on this album now.
Exactly.
You hear the provocative rapping and the storytelling that you get on Wolf.
Right.
You hear the weird instrumentation that kind of works but sounds a little off, but because I'm 10 years later, it's mature. And now I figured out how to mesh that perfectly from Cherry Bomb. Exactly. You hear the pseudo soft rap mixed with alternative music.
Yep. The Daniel Caesar sound. Yep.
Daniel Caesar, the chords, because the internet sound. You hear that in Flower Boy on various songs throughout the album.
Shout out Gambino got a feature too.
Like Hey Jane, yes, he did. Like Hey Jane and the end of the outro. Then you get the super musical influence all throughout the album, but specifically in breaks and on songs like him, the song Like Him, you get the Igor sound from that, and then the raps are all throughout the album from Call Me If You Get Lost and Wolf, the rapping, the storytelling, the brashness, the arrogance, the cockiness. You get all of that from Call Me If You Get Lost on this album as well. So the master of Tyler is what this album is. It is he has mastered multiple sounds, multiple genres, multiple avenues of rap, multiple this and that has created this masterpiece that he dropped, Cryptocarna Light.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's my last time doing it. But salute to Tyler, man. Yeah. Salute, bro. That album is really, really good, and I can't wait to continue to listen to it throughout the week. And I've listened to the album 4 times, and it's Wednesday.